Teach a module in my college now, Symbiosis, where I teach entrepreneurship, creative entrepreneurship, and I keep the first few hours, so I just demotivate them.
And you said that you've been following this intermittent fasting thing for 9 years.
Intermittent fasting is actually not about doing anything, and we actually have a lot of the knowledge instead of these seven-figure influencers who are just scamming them. So why can't we do? Let's say try and run a business, you will learn all of it, including
Hmm.
business and sales, which is very important. It's very strong. My theory is that uh, it will. I am very happy if AI takes away jobs for me. So look, so hear me. I am very happy if AI takes out all these jobs. So just try and start something out. It doesn't have to be a full-time thing. It doesn't have to make money. It doesn't have to be VC capital and all of that. Just run a business. 2023 was the first time we started the whole freelance matchmaking thing, and last year I think our revenue was close to like 30 lakhs, and most of that revenue had come from business commission. We did not charge freelancers at all. I will not sugarcoat it. I am not an entrepreneurial type person generally.
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, because of cricket.
yeah, I think I have played professionally when I was growing up, right? So more than studying, I have played sports as I was growing up. So there is another part that, let's say, the graduation was in biotech, so that has again another no
Wow.
link, right? So
Welcome to podcast with Varu Abhimanyu. And is it okay if I call you Abhi?
please call me Saha. That's better.
Saha. Okay.
Or
Welcome
Abhimanyu.
to.
Yeah, Abhi is something that I don't prefer somehow.
Okay, totally understand. And you can call me Varu. You don't have to, call
Maybe
me.
Varu already. Yeah, it's already written as Varu. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we've been like a few minutes ago, we were talking about this fasting, intermittent fasting, and things like that. And I really want to talk a little bit about it because you being a founder, it's very hard working with a lot of startup founders and early stage startups. The biggest thing that I see with the founders is that they don't really have time to take care of their health. Um, like how, and you said that you've been following this intermittent fasting thing for 9 years,
Yeah.
and you did not change even after getting into the the shoes of founder and things like that. Have you ever tried to like slip here and there, or felt like, no, I just want to give up, or things like that?
So I think so intermittent fasting, the reason why I have been able to stick with it is more because it is sort of built in schedule and it's not a diet. So I, being a strategist, I come from a strategy background. I always break down things into structures. So I figured one of the reasons I have not like lost track is because it's not a diet. Diet needs you to have specific things, specific kind of lifestyle. This is like a schedule. I
Okay.
just don't eat at a certain time. So I don't do anything. It's not about doing. So intermittent fasting is actually not about doing anything. So yeah, I mean there is some crave that you have initially as you start doing fasting. That, oh, because at that time you are usually used to eating. But it has worked for me, especially because it's a schedule for me. It's not a diet plan or anything specific. I eat anything healthy, and I just don't eat in a specific window, and that has worked out for me, I think.
Interesting. And I did want to ask you this because you shared your Instagram profiles with me, and wow, the content that you share about cricket. To be honest, I'm not a cricket nerd, and I cannot.
I was surprised that you followed.
Oh, no, I really love the content, the way you presented. It was so good. So I'm not a cricket nerd, but it's not that I'm ignorant about cricket as well. I know what's happening here and there. Uh, but do you think that that's one of the reasons why, you're like, even though it's a schedule, like people find it hard to follow the schedule. And that could be one of the reasons why the strategy part comes in, the sticking to schedule part comes in.
Because I have played. You're saying, like, being.
Yeah, because of cricket.
Yeah, I think I have played professionally when I was growing up, right? So more than studying, I have played sports as I was growing up. right? I was not really a good student as such, the usual good student, as I don't know what that means, but the person who would get good marks, etc. So I would play more, I would be on the field more. So obviously, a lot of discipline has been embedded in my DNA, because you can't be not disciplined and play sports professionally at state level or something. So that whole schedule, regime, discipline is built in. So somewhere you can say that, yes, for sure, that has helped me somehow maintain stuff.
Awesome. So, before we talk about GuruKore, which we are going to be discussing a lot in this episode, I really want to understand that the transition and the journey, right, from being being a cricketer, and I think you have been in the media and advertising background for about 10 years, and then moving into sort of an edtech space or education space for marketers and things like that. I mean, I don't know if all of this have a link, at least with media advertising, and what you do right now has a lot of link with each other. But from cricketing to this, how is the entire journey
Yeah.
spanning for you, and how do you look at it?
So there is another part that, let's say, the graduation was in biotech, so that has again another no link, right? So yeah, I mean, a lot of no linkages, but at the end, as they say, you can connect the dots looking backward. So I think that is what has happened mostly, as you said, like because I have been a sports person, so it has helped me being a person who's a lot more, let's say, disciplined, and has helped me in my startup or in other things that I have done. But yeah, I mean, the linkages are very low, Varu, to be honest. So I cannot rationalize saying that this has happened and that's why this happened and that's why this happened. We just flew with what was there at that point of time. Whatever the best decisions was possible, we did. As I look back, there is no, I mean, if I look back and if you say that what maybe I would have wanted to give sports a lot more chance, but we're talking about, let's say, 2005 and 6. It like cricket was it is pre IPL, and it was not very lucrative to be a cricketer. I mean, you can always say passion versus etc. But you also have to look at the future prospect, your parents, as much as they like you to play, but there are things. So we had to give up sports somewhere, and then I sort of came to Bangalore, and I'm from a very small state. I'm from this city called Agartala. It's in Tripura. It's a small northeast state. So for us, exposure also was very low, right? So we really didn't have much understanding of what needs to be done, and with digital online, that was not a thing. So my brother, who was already like my elder brother, who is also been the co-founder of GuruKore, he was outside. He had studied in ICFI. At that time, ICFI was one of the top 10 business schools. He studied finance there. And he let me sort of come out from my state. He said, okay, let's do this, let's do that. What are the different things that can be done? So I actually went to DU, and where you actually don't get any application unless you have 98%. So I, being a cricketer, I had nothing. Like, and I'm from a state board, I hardly had some 60%. So they were not even giving me anything, but because it was a sports quota thing, so that okay, they said okay, we'll allow, and you come in. So basically, it was a way for you to get into the college, because they felt that you would be a sports person and you will, represent the college in sports. So it was like St. Stephen's, Hindus, and all these big colleges of DU. But again, I didn't get through that. A lot of politics. I figured that sports quota was just another way for like these big people to get their cousins and nieces and nephews in. So that we figured, but it was an interesting experience. Then I finally came to Bangalore and started studying biotech, because there was no option, to be honest. So my brother was like, okay, you get outside your state, get to a city, get some exposure, maybe life will become a little different once you do that. So then I took biotech. That's it. I mean, I was not good at maths. I thought at one time. Now I do maths pretty well, because I have to send proposals and I have to understand money. That math I know now, but I was really a good bio person. So you can always say that this intermittent fasting and all, the reason I do a lot of research is also because of my bio interest of the biology in the body. But then I did biotech. I was not really good at any of these lab things. I would not be too good at all of that. Somehow I passed, to be honest, from there. So, yeah. So I mean, and then I did an MBA. I worked in Deloitte, to be honest, for a year. After I graduated, I got a job which didn't require an MBA to be in Deloitte at that time, and I cracked some of because I was preparing for my CAT also at that time, so I was able to crack the interview. They had some logical reasonings and DI stuff in their interviews, so I cracked them. As an undergraduate, they felt it was good enough. They gave me a job. So I worked in Hyderabad Deloitte for like a year. And then I finally joined Symbiosis, where I did my MBA in advertising and etc. etc.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks like everything happened in a flow and few things were because, situations forced you to do. I think for whatever reason, like you said, the dots seem to be connecting. Somehow, whatever you did seemed to be helping you.
Yeah, I mean, I think now that I'm a little more older, 35 now, so some of the things that I tell myself is that it actually, all of it comes together at one point of time. So as much as you try to figure out a lot, you always see that if you look back, it will make sense. So you have to flow a lot instead of thinking a lot. That's what I feel now.
That's true. That's true. I think that will be a definite good takeaway for a lot of people who will be watching this. I had this. The first thing that came to my mind when I saw GuruKore, I think I spelled it wrong when I first spoke to you. I felt
No
really
problem. No problem.
embarraed. I'm
It is already a challenging, pronunciation. Yeah.
So, am I pronouncing it correct? It's GuruKore.
Huh. Core is fine. Yeah, I mean, it's actually, when you pronounce it, it sounds like it should be a C. So you are not wrong when you actually said, GuruCore. But again, that's a different, this thing when you're trying to name your brand and company, you have to first find the URL and you have to find if that that exists, right? So for us, we couldn't find that CORE. So we went with QORE.
So it is because of COR. You didn't find CORE, it went to be QORE. I was actually like searching for what it meant on Google, thinking like, because usually what happens with the brand names, people have some reasoning behind the, like I was working with one of the companies called Bonito Designs that was my first company in Bangalore. So we used to name the products. And for naming the products, what we do is like we look into the Spanish library, Italian library, French library, and things like that, so that we get some interesting names. You can alternate it with this English meaning. So bonito in itself means beautiful, right? So
Right.
in Spanish or what language I forgot. So I was thinking it must be something like, the core has some meaning, but I did not know it was very simple. Like you said, I think you don't have to think too much and just flow, go with it.
Yeah. So, coming from brand strategy, I also can fall for a lot of these traps, which means that as a founder, I can become a brand strategist and then just wait on branding my, company and take like years just trying to do all of that. I didn't fall for it. So like my brother, his name is Abhishek. So when we were trying to figure it, I said that, listen, as a strategist, I know a lot of the game that's out there, but as a consumer, I also know that a lot of it is basically association. So in brand, we have this concept that, there are few concepts in brand. One is awareness and the other big one is association, right? And a lot of brands are majorly built on association that, let's say Ola, you don't really figure what Ola means high in Spanish. You just mean Ola means cab. Ola means a cheaper cab, or Ola means auto, whatever. These are associations that all consumers have with the brand. Same with Zomato, Tomato. You don't really care. Swiggy. These names have no real meaning, or you cannot derive meaning out of them. Like you said, Bonito, it's very specific. You can derive meaning if you know that language. So a lot of brand is basically association, which is post brand naming. Whatever you do, the consumer will associate something with you. So I said, listen, don't really get into the trap because it will take another 6 months out of our launch because, we'll just keep doing this naming and we'll then not find the domain, right? And all of that will go. I said, so initially when we launched the brand, the larger TG or the larger, ICP were coaches and teachers because we're building like initially we were very, very strong product brand. Now we are more service, but we built a tool for teachers and coaches.
Okay.
So when we built that, And it had all this invoicing, payment, scheduling, etc. It was like an administrative tool for these yoga teachers or let's say music teacher, etc., etc. So Guru was basically given that, okay, we want to have this name, and because he was based out of US, so he said Guru is a very interesting thing because everyone uses Guru as it has a positive connotation and association. So I said, Guru is there, but if you have a lot of brands have names that start with Guru, so we have to be unique in some way. So that's the only thing we should aim for.
Got it.
So then we got QORE and said, okay, that will make it unique. So in brand naming, this is basically called an invented name. It doesn't really have a meaning. So you just invent it.
Got it. So you mentioned that it started out as a product and slightly, I mean, like right now it's pivoted to the service side of it, right? Like usually I've heard stories or I have worked with companies where they started as a service and they transition to the product side of it. So how did this happen? Like from product, and why this pivot happened?
So ideally, Varu, I would say ideally service and then product, what you're seeing.
Okay.
Majorly because it is easier to sell a service, again, because it's a new concept. Productization, unless you have a lot of VC capital, it is very tough. True. So ideally you start with service where people know you, know your brand, they know you for something, again, associate you with something. And then you say, okay, now I also have a product because you have built certain distribution for your brand and company. But I think I would not try to sugarcoat it. We made a mistake by starting a product brand. Given that we did not ever have any interest of raising VC money or going that route, we were trying to make it within family and whatever we had. I mean, in terms of, I'm talking about the money and investments. We started with a product brand because we thought it would be all right. It would be easy. We had no idea what we were going into, to be honest, because he was working at that time in Amazon, I think, or he was working in Deloitte. He later started working in Amazon. I was working in marketing. So we never had really that kind of experience of entrepreneurship, right? We had, very vertical skill sets we had. So we did not know. We thought, this is an interesting thing. There is a requirement. A lot of coaches and teachers are coming up who are independent, and we wanted to, make sure that they have their sort of that toolkit to make it easy, make it in an app, like a mobile format where they can quickly send invoices, schedule their classes, all that stuff. And we went into this whole tech building situation where we didn't test the product a lot. So it started like that. And once we hit like that roadblock, I told my brother that, I don't think, we are getting a lot of users. We were like stuck at 100 users and 150 users. That's when it sort of dawned on us that it's very tough to build and market a product majorly, given the resources are very thin already with you. So then the pivots actually happened. People who know me, they call me Pivot King because we have pivoted so much. So we started with coaches and teachers. Then we went, the first change that we built was we only focused on then payments, because we figured payment was a major challenge for these people. So they didn't care about a lot. The data that we saw from our dashboard was that they were using the invoicing part a lot and nothing else. So then we doubled down on that. We cut everything. We just made it an invoicing app. Then the third pivot was that we changed to freelancer, the TG pivot, like, not a product pivot, but an audience pivot. So then we went to freelancers, right? And then that happened. So again, we figured at the end that the product in India can't be monetized. It is not that value add. It's not adding that much delta value to someone's life so that they will pay for this product. Though, for us, it's a very good product. We still have people who use it. But it was not giving delta value for which people would pay. So they were saying, okay, we can use Canva, we can use Word doc. And especially in India, the larger insight is that people do not really care about their time, or let's say they don't value their time that much. So the value of time equal to money, they don't understand that. So for them, it's okay, I'll do it in Word doc. It's fine if it takes me 10 minutes more, all of that. So then we figured, okay, then, we have to sort of roll back, and the product's not working. So then by the time we had built a freelance community, not the community in this sense, but we had people who were working with us, who were like really using the product, etc. So then, me being from advertising and marketing, I also had a lot of clients organically who were coming and asking me that, "Arey Abhimanyu, without knowing what I'm building, they're like, you have some freelancers, right? Just give me some freelancers because, I need some work done." So, so a lot of these queries started coming in organically. Then I said, okay, there's an interesting thing here that we can do. So we pivoted to like a freelance matchmaking platform. And so we pivoted to service from there. That's what happened.
So I wanted to ask you this, which is, you were working, and what made you want to like enter into entrepreneurship? Like you said, you don't have prior experience, so does your brother.
Yeah.
So what sort of, like, I wouldn't say pushed, but made you want to like get started with the entrepreneurship?
Again, I will not sugarcoat it. I am not an entrepreneurial type person generally.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it's the wrong word. I'm not a business guy. I may be a entrepreneurial person, but I'm not a very business kind of person who would be like, let's do business, let's get money. We have to prioritize business, we have to prioritize revenue, etc. I'm not that person. I haven't been able to be that person still. But what led to that change or push that you're asking is that, one, I was already done with the work that I was doing. I was like, there's nothing that is happening in terms of growth. I was already director of strategy. I had a team. I did all of that dream I had after doing my MBA. That okay, all that was done. Like I was in leadership position in my agency and all of that was happening. So I didn't know what the next step was. I couldn't see me working in another agency and keep getting these promotions, which was not something that I felt was, I won't say worth it, but it was not something that I was looking forward to. I was feeling that something could be done differently. So that was the one push. The other push was that you would have seen that I'm also a music producer. So I was also learning to produce music side by side. While I have been in bands and being a guitarist forever, but music production was something that I was learning also at that time. So I wanted to give it a little more time, and I said, okay, let me take out some time. And I thought I'll give it a shot as a music producer for a year. This is 2019. 2019, I had known how to make music, and I was already ready with an album that I wanted to release. So then I was like, okay, I would give it a year, just do some music. I have enough money that I've saved, and I'll see if music works out for me, because music is real love for me, right? Strong, sports and music would like take 50-50, 60-40, whatever it is. So then I gave myself that break, and then COVID happened. So COVID was the third hit, the third push. My brother, who was working in Deloitte, he was, laid off, and he was in America. He had a family, everything. So then we discussed and decided, because we were used to always talk about some business, and he would always be giving me yan and 1 hour discussion on this business is doing that can be done. This is a nice time. I have also left my job. You have been also laid off. Now we can do some business if you want, right? So then he was actually the more proactive person. He started all this thing. He started some initial researches, and that's when the whole yoga audience and that requirement for teachers and all that came. So I told him that, listen, I'll support you. I'm not the guy who want to be an entrepreneur. I'm more of a creator kind of a person. I'm more of I won't say creative, but I'm more in that zone. So, if you can handle business, I can, figure out the marketing. I can figure out all this, designing. I've been in digital agency. So we can do all this, but business you handle, which includes, let's say, CA and company making and all that stuff. So all that happened. And then finally we started. We did, I think, like 7-8 months. And when we were hitting those blocks, then my brother was like, okay, listen, we will need more money if you want to sort of keep continuing this path. And, I am running out of money. So let me get back to a job. So you continue it, and I will like support in terms of finances. So then he joined the job back in Amazon, which he still does. And so that's more or less the push that happened.
Interesting. I mean, like, one person taking care of it and the other person still working. I mean, something I keep telling a lot of people, right? I might be wrong, but for a brief period of time, I quit my job and I wanted to consult for a while. Like I got into full on because I was thinking that I should definitely do it. And it was not COVID for some strange reason, but suddenly, achanak se, randomly, I just quit my job and I decided that let me just do it. Initial phases, it was really good because I had like a solid LinkedIn connections and things like that. Everything like worked out. But I think after a point of time, things did not look really good because, the payment comes a little late. Some people would say like after 3 months, I would have worked with them and then say, "Hey, I don't think I want the service anymore." And, by the time I grew so faster in the first 3 or 4 months that I built a remote team. So it became
Mm.
that fast, but then how like things also started taking wrong turns like after a few months as well. So that's when I realized that if you want to do something, you need to have a stable job, a monthly thing that kind of provides you for whatever you don't have to worry about for your month on month financial needs.
Mm.
And you should be able to do this.
Yeah, agree. I mean, I can completely empathize and sympathize with your challenges that you have faced. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I would really recommend someone, unless they have like really good resources that they can rely upon. It is not advisable. All this rosy painted pictures that people put outside on LinkedIn or
Yeah.
Instagram or whatever is just for the sake of the post, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really hate, and I actually put out a lot of posts. Maybe you would not have seen because we just connected recently. I put out a lot of posts about the realities. I keep saying that this is not easy. You should not. I actually teach a module in my college now, Symbiosis, where I teach entrepreneurship, creative entrepreneurship, and I keep the first few hours, so I just demotivate them. I
Okay.
demotivate the hell out of them because I keep telling them how hard it is, which is the truth. I mean, to be honest, I can't even communicate how hard it is because, it is more harder than I can communicate. So I keep demotivating them initially that this is, and then, if then people are still survived that, then I said, okay, TK, this is how you do it. So even on LinkedIn, I think I mean, you're right saying that there's so much of this hyper, push of the motivation push of doing entrepreneurship or freelancing for that matter.
True.
It is really toxic because people are just doing because they want to talk about it. But the reality is very tough.
It is. It's strangely tough. So coming back to GuruKore, Saha, like as far as I understood, the first thing that I went and saw in the website that completely made me want to connect with you is majorly because of this word community, because I am a hardcore community person. Like close to 8 to 9 years I've worked with different B2B, B2C communities, right? So that was the word that pulled me in. So as far as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, and I would really like to know more about GuruKore as well, right? So as far as I understand, it's an academy for marketers. It has a structured program to help marketers to be 360 marketer. That's what I saw. I mean, or a T-shaped marketer or full stack marketer or whatever you call, right? And the best part about it, like I said, it's community led. And it's not just an academy, it also has another wing that for whether it's a freelancer or someone who's looking for some opportunity. It is, I mean, GuruKore also has a place for that, for the experts to basically find opportunity. So you're basically trying to solve two things. One is the skill gap, the other one is the talent gap. So did I get it right, or can you give
No,
me?
you're right. It's just that I like the way the flow in which you said it makes it more of an academy. But I would say academy is just one wing of it.
Okay.
And the program that you actually see on the website we launched and actually failed because we could not get enough people to come in while uh, again I ran out of steam, etc. But the academy is an integral part of how we. So what you saw on the website is just a product, let's say, but academy as a concept is basically learning, being able to, as you said, bridge that skill gap that's there. And the other part, as you rightly said, is providing opportunity. So uh, in a line, it's basically being able to give modern marketeers right skills and right career opportunities, right? And independence is really baked into the core of that. So independence, I mean that if you want to be more of an independent professional, which means a freelancer, let's say, so there are a lot more discussions about that in the community. So it's a lot more independent, but a lot of the people who are there are full-time people inside the community, because they've just come for not the gigs but for the learning. So we have let's say every fortnightly community education sessions, we call it comads, so where a person from the community takes a session for the by the community for the community. The free sessions that happen, so people like you or someone who would be there in the community, they will arrange, I will talk to them, I will plan it, and then they take it. So then 20-25 people come and we have discussions. So that happens every fortnightly. So that's also part of the academy. uh, Gigs happen a lot, let's say a lot more frequently, because that's like an ongoing thing. And that is, if you when you come to that revenue question, we'll answer that. But so that's like the core of where the revenue comes from, because GuruKore takes the commission for the gigs that we give to freelancers. And that's basically the business model or revenue model, if I want to put it that way. And the other part is that we do have networking. So networking already happens once you are in this. Once you attend sessions, you know each other. And then we have these things called mixers. So GuruKore mixers are basically held in Bangalore or Bombay, where we get let's say a marketing stalwart or like an industry professional who will come. I host the session. We have quick fire questions. And then so basically they get to know these people, they get to talk to each other. But like a guest comes, a guest one or two, sometimes even three guests sometimes come. And then we have quizzes, but all marketing related, advertising quizzes. So it's fun also. And then with the drinks is anyway flowing, so people get used to it. And then ice breaking and all of that happens. So the events are also interesting. So Mota Mota is basically, let's say, GuruKore in a way, outside your work, if you want to learn, communicate, network, and grow, this is your place.
Got it.
Some education, some gigs, some networking, all of it is happening here.
Got it. So let's say, for example, if someone, I also understand that if someone who is not part of the academy as well can be part of Guru Course community if they are looking for opportunities. Am I right?
Yeah. So the community is right now still very, very open. So and again, as I said, like I'm not a very good business person. I have to learn it, and I'm trying this year to be a lot more business centric, because I am more of a person who lets people come and join. While I'm not saying that I don't verify. So we only have 225 people right now in the community, and I don't put it out everywhere. Please join. It's not a WhatsApp group that you can just click a link and join. So there's a form, there are links, I verify, and then only add people. So it's a very small and, let's say, like close community.
Makes sense.
But within that community, everyone gets everything. So there is no differentiation that you are in this tier and that tier or Falana tier, whatever. As of now, everyone gets all opportunities. You can always, being a teacher and educator, I don't really believe that you can really gatekeep that. Unless I'm building a different product, which was the academy, where I have specialized people coming in, and I have to pay them, so that then you have to pay a fee to come in. But if it is a com-ed session, it's basically free for everyone to join.
Got it. So you mentioned 225 people in the community, right? I mean, I really love close communities for that matter, because like I go out there, there's a LinkedIn that in itself is like a huge place where it's like it's interesting, but at the same time, there's so many people out there. You take any other place, there are so many people. The only thing that probably the good thing that turns out to be is that your conversation or something will be like seen or heard by variety of people. But the biggest advantage that I see with close communities is that you make friends for life. That friendship that you are going to make, and secondly, there's so much focus on a very specific set of people as well. I think these are two things, and of course the value that the owner of the community or someone who's started the community would be able to give. um, so I mean, I don't, I really like that it is closed. Bigger communities, after a point of time, it's just crickets. Usually it's like random things. It starts for some reason, but turns out to be something else. So it's good that you're going slow. So yeah,
It's tough to control larger crowd as well, especially in a situation like a WhatsApp community. Right now we are on WhatsApp. So I knew that I have handled some communities here and there, and in my advertising days, I've seen a lot of communities very closely, large communities, MTR community. I've seen RCV community. These are all large communities. So I had some understanding of how it can go wrong. So at least those things I have put in place, and once you set the tone, people understand how it is, and they also sort of start behaving in that way. So yes, therefore yesterday only, I know I'm making this year in review for our community. I'll share it with you once I have completed it, maybe. So I asked for some testimonials, and maybe I can show you the testimonials later. But if you read the testimonials, and I'm like, okay, I was really almost teary eyed because so much of authentic testimonials and people talking about it, and I don't even know half of these things. So as I said, lot of or maybe I haven't said it, lot of the things that happen in the community I still don't have track of, because a lot of good things are happening while I'm not aware. Because it being a WhatsApp group and I have kept it open, that there is no gating as such. So people get gigs that I'm not even aware of, right? People are doing work with each other that I'm not even aware of. And I'm right now not gatekeeping it. We'll have to figure out how will we do some monetization of some of these things. But as of now, a lot of people work with each other. A lot of people meet each other. A lot of people like let's say a copywriter, he met like a producer, a film producer. So you went on the producer set, he figured how a film is produced, and so many of these examples you would not have been possible, because once they met on the mixer, they met each other. So then they spoke to each other, and then they like bonded. So a lot of so much of these things, and for me it's so nice because you know the idea is that each other's work, and that's why the whole concept of 360 or t-shirt market here exists. Because if you are just copywriter and you just do copy, or you are just design, or you are just like UI, वो मजा नहीं आता है. Once you start doing the other person's work, you have also empathy, plus how to do your work better. So that's for surely happening in the community, and it's crazy. I mean, I'll show you the testimonials maybe later. It'll give you some idea.
I would really love to. I had this the first thing that you mentioned about this community, right? Like what kind of made you think that you should definitely start a community over here? Was it like super obvious, or was it like uh, a business decision?
Again, I think some of these answers are all a mix. And I don't want to like give like a very straight answer, because none of the answers ever are straight. So it was a mix. I think when we had that invoicing app, we also needed some distribution. So we felt that, okay, how do I get all these people who are already working with us in one place, right? Because before the community understand that we were already doing this matchmaking thing of freelancers to brands, and we were already working with freelancers. So we said, okay, first thing is that let's get everyone together, because let's everyone somewhere else, some mobile number, some email ID, some discussion here and there. And then we said, okay, if we get everyone together, it will make it easier for us to also sort of talk about our launches, products, etc. But then we completely gave up on the product. And then me being me, I primarily find happiness and joy helping others. So if you also look at the testimonials, you will see that people will be saying that, Abhimanyu helped me, because I have taken 3 sessions with them when they have been stuck in career or stuck in something else. So they talk to me. I take a session 1 hour. Sometimes I have to like put a filter, because then otherwise we'll keep going on. But at least one session I've taken with most people who have asked for me. So that only gives me joy that, okay, I'm helping someone. Even if I match make someone with a brand, they are getting paid through me. I feel good. Even if I am earning some pennies, doesn't matter. So a lot of times I have made gigs happen where I have earned zero commission. And again, as I said, these are not really good signs for business, but you're asking me why I made the community. So the reason is that I like helping people. I like people being in one place, and is that independence of or rather the objective of making independent professionals a thing in India. I think that's more of what drives me. So yeah.
Interesting. And the 225 people in WhatsApp, like I know it's very hard to track, especially when it's on WhatsApp. How active are they? Because it's not, I mean, usually there is this statistics or thing that happens with community that there's only 1% of the entire community set of people are more active, and that activeness sort of like decreases over like, in the next 10%, 20% and things like that. There are people who initiate, there are people who constantly lurk, but they never basically like are active. So how is that if you have to like dissect for your community?
I think it's a very interesting discussion that you are having right now, because this is a very data led discussion. And again, me being a strategist, I always dissect all these things all the time in my head. So the one insight that I can give you is that the lurkers are also very important.
True.
So while we may feel, Kari, this person has joined, never spoken, never done anything, not even a thumbs up, not even a heart or whatever, right? You sort of gauging engagement through these things. But then all of a sudden they will just message you like a year after that, this has been really helpful. So again, as I said, some of these testimonials, one came from a lurker, like, and I would never expect her to say that, but you're like, no, all the discussions that happen, I'm observing, it helps me a lot to understand, etc. So I think the lurkers, as much as you can't really put a finger and figure out how many of them are there, because some of them actually may be just inactive, but some of them may be lurkers, right? But in our community, I would say 25% are surely active, active, like
Wow.
proper active, because I see them in my mixers, I see them in my community education sessions. So I'm surely aware that these people are active. They are putting up, sort of requirements, or they are putting their hands up for requirements, etc. So 25% तो पक्का active ही है लोग. बाकी then 25% could be lurkers, and the 50% really I have no idea. If they are observing, lurking, uh, but active तो है 25%, proper active. Then maybe 10-15% थोड़ा कभी कभी आते हैं. Then maybe 10-15% are lurkers. Then the 50% you obviously don't really know what's happening. Uh, I am not really profiling them that much, but yeah, everyone that comes to the community signs up. I know they exist. They are added to our newsletter, and I know who are they. As I said, I verify everyone before adding them. So, हाँ, मोटा-मोटा हमारा even newsletters that we send out, like last few months we haven't been able to do it, but even our newsletters, which goes to let's say 650 plus people, have like a 30% open rate, which is really good, right, in terms of open rates, because again, very specific community, specific people who are looking for that kind of content. And मोटा मोटा फिर वो brand का एक halo बन जाता है, that I know these people, I'm on the community, I get the newsletter, I see the founder on LinkedIn, I go to the event. So you are therefore building a brand, not business but a brand.
You talked about this session where people get stuck, in case they are stuck in their career and things like that, and you basically like help them. Is it like a one-on-one session, or like, basically you put out these sessions where like every periodically you take these sessions and it is going to cover specific topics and you ask the community about what topic you want to cover?
No, so those are education sessions जो आप बोल रहे हो. It's not of a counseling sessions. The counseling sessions are one-on-one, and it's not just me, as I am again unearthing a lot of insights about my own community. This as I make this report, because I gave myself this thing that I have to make a report, because I am a solo founder. I don't need to make reports for anyone, right? So I just gave myself the task that, okay, bhai, ye report bana, and then see, actually, like you're asking me that, what is the active ratio. So now I have to put all of that for myself, not for any VC or anyone, but just for myself to know. So then I am also asking a lot of questions to the community this time, that, are you guys taking sessions? Have you guys gotten gigs that I don't know? Just report it or nothing else. So a lot of people have come and said that, oh, I have taken sessions for these people. I have counseled these people. So, it's not just me. A lot of other people also are helping counseling other juniors or young marketeers.
Wow.
Uh, and that generally happens if someone takes a comment or a community education session. Let's say you come tomorrow and take a comment. So people will know about you and they'll say, okay, Abhimanyu got this person, so she must be aware, knowing, and trustworthy. So then they will maybe reach out to you, said, Baru, can we do a session around Falana about or whatever, podcasting, and how can I start my podcasting. So that's how it happens organically now. So as I said, a lot of this is organically happening. It's good, but I need to also put some structure to these as well.
So true. Yeah. I mean, like, it's one of the few cases that happen in community, right? Because initially, when you build a community, there needs to be some sort of a push that makes them want to do something. And what drives all of these people to do that? I mean, like, see, to be very honest, when you say free session or whatever it is, it's not about the money part of it, but yeah, the education session, it involves time, it involves energy, effort and things like that, resources and things like that, and people are already busy with so many other things. If they come forward to do this for someone, that they want to go forward and help, I have to basically say that you have done a good job in terms of viewing people who have to get into the community. But what drives these people to do this?
I think people are generally helpful, Varu. I mean, that's the general human insight. I think people are helpful if you can uh, motivate them the right way. People are generally helpful. I think across the board. Obviously, there are reality issues in terms of time, bandwidth, and how much, what is the work, etc. But I think, as I said, like setting the precedent is important. That we have always made this community core as learning. That learning happens here. So people also feel, oh, I am contributing to a community where people are excited about learning, and I'm going to be a teacher in that. So I think that's a very good motivation for people, that okay, I am part of this community. This guy teaches himself in Symbiosis and other colleges, and he drives a lot of learning things here, and I'm going to be part of that. So nice. Also, I think selfishly, if I have to look at it, it also is a little bit of brand building for you, right? Because all these people, you also know them through LinkedIn, or they have connected you on LinkedIn, and you also teach here, you also get some material to post on LinkedIn, or etc.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
always there. So sab kuch mila ke it's nice. Again, I think some of these things, as I said, like from this year, like next week we have a comment. I'm planning to have some basic fee, even if it is 99 rupees, just to honor the person who's taking it. So again, we'll see how all of that works out. But again, startup is all about experimentations and understanding what works and what doesn't.
Truly. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Please do let me know how it is going.
I'll surely. If you want to be part of the community, I'll add you.
Please do, please do. It's been a while since I've been like part of communities that focus only on marketing. So I'd be like very, very part of it.
I'll surely add you, and 22nd or 3rd we have our first comment of this year. So, it's good.
Definitely, I'll be part of it. So, this thing that keeps bothering me as a marketer, is that um the gig economy is going to find a huge, shake up or something in a few months or a year to go. I don't know. I think in India it might take some time. But yeah, because of this AI, agentic AI, and things like that. Because that's one thing that I started noticing with like one of the guests that I connected with runs an agency where he helps businesses build agentic AI ecosystem for them.
Very nice.
So it happened exactly like 6, 7 months ago, even before they were talking about agentic AI. It was all Gen AI by then, and LLMs. And he said something like, you know what, there's going to be like lots and lots of agents that's going to like get the tasks done and things like that. And we know in many places, whether it's freelancer or a consultant and things like that, it doesn't people don't only prefer strategy. People need someone who can strategize as well as like execute and things like that. Predominantly execution is something that they're looking for. With AI agents coming in, do you also like see that's going to like impact a lot of marketers, the freelance work ecosystem and things like that?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it's going to be a disruptor. Now, how big and what verticals it will disrupt, again, future gazing is something foolish people do. I myself am a fool, but uh, See, we don't know what verticals it will specifically. So you can always say that maybe freelancers will be more in demand because they will work with this agentic AI and they may not need full-time employees. Let's say that's one way to look at it.
Interesting way to look at. Definitely. Yeah.
That let's say I tomorrow train all of my freelancers and community that "Ki bhai, this is how we do the next 2 years of work. We will work with agentic AIs and all of your core skill will get added to this, and you guys go out and do the work." So that's one way to look at it, because if you look at the core objective of any company is to optimize
True.
resources and cost, and if they want costs to go down, they would obviously reduce their full-time employees
True.
who would do that work, whether it's execution or overlooking. So they would rather give it to agencies and agents who can do it, or freelancers who have the capability to do it. That's just one way to look at it. I'm not saying that's the way, that's the only way that it will happen, but it will surely impact our market. Is, and I've been telling this, the whole academy concept of the T-shaped marketeer is also from that thinking that if you have to work with AI, you have to be a generalist.
100%. Yeah.
Because if you are just a specialist, the AI will do that job. If you are a generalist, I'm not saying everyone has to become a strategy or a managing kind of person, but you can be a copywriter or a content writer, but you have to know the other things, how it works. Because if you're going to prompt an AI, you have to know how it works. Let's say if I'm a content writer, I have to know what basics of SEO are, basics of audience segmentation, basics of consumer psychology, basics of let's say copy and whatever. So you have to build that 360 bit, because if you build that 360 bit, AI can only help you, but if you become very specialist, AI will take you out,
That's true.
right? So let's say someone who runs ads, right? And I keep giving these examples again. I don't want to be doomsday sayer, as I said, but let's say if I run Facebook ads and that's my specialization, right? Because specialization has gone to the point where I don't like it anymore. Like, it's FB ads, it is it's category FB ads for D2C, FB ads for Falana, right? So you've become very specialists because the market wants it. So you have become very specialized. So let's say you are a Facebook ad specialist. And what is the meaning of Facebook ad specialist? You basically, your large skill set, I'll tell you, is that they know their way around that dashboard, because that dashboard is so complicated. Any of these Facebook, Meta, Google dashboards are very complicated. Just to run an ad, you don't know where to go, right? Okay, I have to end my dollar here, I have to end my TG here, I have to end my. So if I am a person who doesn't run Facebook ads, I cannot run Facebook ads because I just don't know the dashboard. It is just too complicated. Now the person who's running Facebook ads spends his or her time majority just figuring out that dashboard, and that's their large skill now, because most of the things are automated. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you don't run ads. The ads are being run by Facebook Meta. Their algorithms are doing it more and more. Only they are pushing algorithm packages that use this kind of ad format, use that. So they're all pushing algorithm ad formats. So tomorrow, when that tipping point happens, as a Facebook ad specialist, where are you? Because that AI will come and say that, okay, we'll run this. You just tell me on this nice UI, this is your budget, this is your TG, and ये creative है. अभी आप ad चलाओ. अभी UI अच्छा बना दिया है मैंने. Because right now the UI is the challenge, the dashboard I don't understand as a non-technical person. So then where is the Facebook or the Meta or the Google ad specialist? Where will they go? Because right now they are all in demand, but when that tipping point of AI happens and the tools take over these very specialized tasks, they will be the first to fall. So therefore, if they know, let's say, more of marketing and strategy and consumer psychology and let's say organic content marketing, etc., then they'll be said, they'll be okay, I'll work with, this is just one of my skill, I'll work with an AI to figure out. So I feel that's where the world is going, and a lot of people right now may not understand it, but it will happen because we can see all specialized work AI can do very well, because there's a proper prompt to it, proper code to it. Only the subjective work is still tough, which is what we humans can do, right?
Yeah.
A lot of subjective work we have to do. And as humans in our community, there was a discussion at one time that why marketeers have this anxiety all the time. So it's so subjective
Yeah, it is.
that you cannot go tomorrow and tell a brand that, aapka mein, I will increase this from this to this. The perception will become this, awareness will increase, or I'll put it in the code. No, it will not happen because it's a lot of subjective things that you're dealing with. The consumer, uska khud ka hi, thinking is subjective. Market trends are subjective. Everything is subjective. So I think if you can be more subjective, you can push yourself to know and think more subjectively, you will be saved.
Nice, nice way to look at it. I mean, the moment you said that, why, I mean, like, why not freelancers and, like they get to do the work with the agents rather than the full time seems to be fairly interesting as well, like a different thought.
Yeah.
And I think what you are also like the core of GuruKore is basically 360-degree marketing, right? So I think it is definitely going to be super helpful for a lot of marketers who want to be the generalist, because to be very honest, the society doesn't, or probably the norms overall, right? Like from the time I started as a copywriter, and then I moved into social media, then community, then email marketing, then got into content, then whatnot. Right now, I'm like in the overall marketing sphere of it, right? Um, so initially, like I was very scared because everyone had this thing, like they said that if you have to be like a CMO tomorrow, you have to reach the leadership, you need to have one specialization, like you've done something in SaaS, like you're a SaaS marketer, you're a B2B marketer, this that, or you should have only done something very specifically so that you get to that place. But I've always had a different thought that from the beginning, or even as a kid, I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. It's not that I know everything about it. It's just that I want to learn so many things that I will be able to design, I'll be able to edit, I'll be able to speak, I'll be able to run a community, I'll be able to do a lot of things. And gradually, as the time passes by, I'll be able to pick up that skills when the time is needed. That has helped me so much, but initially it put me in a state of trauma that, okay, I am definitely not going to make to be any sort of a leader. But rather, I understood that a leadership, someone who is in the leadership, tells you that this is how things are going to work, because a CMO doesn't just say, hey, go and get leads and come and things like that, right? Like he or she is basically like another CEO or a COO in pursuit. So they are going to like tell you or strategize all facets of marketing. It is going to be paid, it is going to be organic, it is, they have to think of all sides of it. So I think 360-degree marketing or being a generalist makes a lot of sense. And to be honest, I feel so relieved.
I think you touch upon a very interesting thing. I think society and norms will not, or at least for now, has been always been about specialization. And it is, I will not blame society or the market because it helps get work done, right? If you need email to be done, if you need like some nice emailers, you would call an email marketer because, as I said, I think right now the tools and the dashboards are so complicated that it needs someone to just look into that. So if I want someone to start my email marketing, they have to look at my domain, they have to warm up falana, I have to do this. So there's a lot of technical work just starting email, right? How does it not go to promotion, and all of that technical stuff is there. So you need that person just to learn email. But now I think what with AI, what will happen is that these very technical stuff will be taken care of, and that's I think the biggest benefit I feel of AI is that all these technical specific tasks, and you are relieved,
Yeah.
and you would go back to being human, which is a generalist. A human is a generalist. Is human is not a specialist. To be honest, we have been evolving as generalists. Otherwise, we would not really be here, and we will only be just doing this. Like no, Naval Ravikant. I don't know if you are aware of.
Yeah, I do follow him. Yeah.
He says, he says specialization is for the insects. So, which I agree with him, which means that they have to be very special about what they do because they have to survive that kind of situation. But we have evolved being a generalist because we have had different temperature, different climate, different things too, and we have always evolved. And a generalist always does that. He or she evolves. You can
Yeah.
feel a thing, solve that problem with what you have learned, fundamentals, whatever theories. While specialism is very, very, today's day and age thinking, but I think it's going away soon, and I'm happy about that.
Like after I woke up, I'm speaking, you're the first person. I don't speak to anyone else because I work in the 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. Time zone.
Wow. So yeah, that shift.
Yeah. So it is so refreshing because yesterday I was feeling so low for no reason because, for some reason in Instagram, I consumed just one reel of some Sam Altman's, statement or something about the future and things like that. And after that, I kept seeing so many things about AI replacing humans, AI replacing this, that. I went into another zone where I started cooking up controversial theories in my own head, thinking that I'm out of job in 2 months. I don't know where I'm going to go. And the humanity is at stake. I started talking about all of these things with my family, and they were also like a little scared. But right now, after talking to you, it's like there's a different perspective to look at, right? Because as a marketer in general, or some like non-marketer as well, see, skill or a tool or a platform or technique or whatever it is, today you are seeing Instagram wasn't there yesterday, so tomorrow it will be something else. So I think we should be able to evolve to learn that. I think the ability to learn, ability to evolve, ability to adapt to change is something that's being the constant across, for marketers or for anyone for that matter, even for the tech people who are in the tech side of the world, right? So I think we should start seeing this as an opportunity and learn and possibly connect with a lot of people, in order for us to like see the perspectives. Like, thank God I connected with you today. My mood is going to be elevated after this call. I'm going to head to gym and like work out so well today. So thank you for that.
So I have a small theory. I generally don't talk about theories in these kind of calls, but because now we discuss this and it makes you happy. So my theory is very strong. My theory is that uh, it will. I am very happy if AI takes away jobs for me. So look, so hear me out. I am very happy if AI takes out all these jobs, because a lot of these jobs are actually menial jobs, and I don't think as humans our value is sort of realized if we do these jobs. Initially it will be very tough. I know all of us will lose job, markets will crash, and all that will happen. All changes, even the industrial revolution and similar things happened in the past. That is coming, and we cannot stop that. But what I feel is that once these jobs go out, we will have time to explore different sides of things that we don't even do nowadays. For me, I am very clear because I already explored so many things. So I know that if this job goes, and let's say I become a cricket broadcaster, or I become a cricket influencer, now I'm fine. I'll go watch cricket match. Cricket match is not going to be replaced, because you still need humans will do human things, which is playing. The
Yeah.
email newsletter and dashboard of ads is not human. Just
Yeah.
all right, let the tech run it, right? But all of that will get integrated into what humans consume: cricket, sports, entertainment, everything else. You'll get more time to explore, because everyone at the end is creative. You
True.
may be a dancer, so you will go and explore dancing because उसमें ज़्यादा पैसा होगा. Because
Hmm.
people would, right now, people see the disparate. Right now, people value Excel more than the creative. Let's say Excel is a very basic word. Let's say the kind of work that we do, Excel, PPT, or the kind of output we give, that is more important than, let's say, any creative endeavor.
True. True. Yeah.
You can be a best songwriter, song falana, you can be a best dancer, you can be a best artist, but you get peanuts. That is a very strong skill that you have, but you get peanuts for that. And you have been sort of programmed ke bhai isse to it's not useful, what are you doing, right? But now if you put yourself under pressure, anxiety, and put out some of these PPTs and some startup and some falana, it's fine. Oh, there's useful money in that. So I feel that the more AI takes out all these things, we will go more over on this side and do more creative stuff, more subjective stuff, more stuff that is human. So I am very clear. I am very happy. You take away all my jobs, I will go and do whatever I like. And as I said, you'll have to flow. We can't overthink how will I earn money at that time.
So true.
You will earn money. Something will happen.
So if you have to like tell all these marketers, because it's not just me, okay, it's like so many other marketers who are actually consuming this AI news is already panicking inside, but they don't show outside. But
Yeah.
I mean, those marketers are there as a part of your community and things like that. But in the 360-degree marketing as a like the core of GuruKore, what do you think that you would want to like instill or create some sort of an initiative starting from 2025 or next year, that these things should be introduced to this community so the marketeers will be able to like pick this up and be able to run with their life and their profession probably.
They run businesses.
Okay.
That's it's like it's like I don't know. I don't know if I don't have an equivalence to say. Let's say it's like CrossFit or something like that, which has all sort of training included in it, right? It's like that corporate meal or thali. It has everything.
Okay.
So if you let's say try and run a business, you'll learn all of it, including business and sales, which is very important, and all aspects of marketing. So just try and start something out. It doesn't have to be a full-time thing. It doesn't have to make money. It doesn't have to be VC capital and all of that. Just run a business. And my other theory is also that the more we lose jobs, the more businesses we will start.
True.
And that will happen because let's say you're figuring, bhai, now I think this sports business is nice, so I will work with Abhimanyu and do some collab or for some t-shirts for him. Let's say just random example. So you will go into that business like sports t-shirts. So you figure out marketing of that. You figure out procurement. You figure out website. You figure out SEO. So you run a business, because the more AI takes out all these jobs, the more our consumptions will be different. The more we will be then equipped to do solo businesses. So let's say right now, I completely run the company mostly on my own. Right now, we had like 5-6 employees, but now as we have pivoted and we are going into this community direction, now I have only me and my admin head who does the finance and all of that, mails and all of that. And everyone is on freelance. Whoever I need, I'll just get. Website I need, I'll get him. I need for SEO, I'll get work done. So already we are in a situation where the freelance model allows me to just build a business on my own. So tomorrow, let's say I am able to monetize all of it, and hopefully we do have some, active community and some, nice revenue systems around it. All of it is for me. I have no one to give it to.
Yeah.
And then I don't have pressure of increasing community size. I don't have pressure of, decreasing quality. I don't have pressure of, all that BS. So it's nice. So you also open a business, do something. Your job's gone away, it's fine. Do something else.
I really needed this today. And I think I'm definitely going to cut this as a short and put it out so that so many people will feel good about this conversation. You talked about this multiple revenue things, right? Like I want to touch upon on the revenue part of it. Like you mentioned the commission part from the freelancers. Is it just from the freelancers or the businesses who are also like taking the help of the freelancers? And what do you think in future that this would also evolve?
Okay. So two questions. I'll answer the first one. So when we started, I think we started 2023 was the first time we started the whole freelance matchmaking thing. And last year, I think our revenue was close to like 30 lakhs. And most of that revenue had come from business commission. We did not charge freelancers at all.
Okay.
Again, most of my heart always goes out to freelancers. And I always try not to charge them because they're already living on, a tight leash, right? The first year, we did not charge any freelance. But what started happening was a lot of gigs were not going through because the business felt, this is a little too much for freelancers. Right? So that my value addition was not helping them. So what I did was I started charging the freelancers because freelancers are okay. They're like, "Arey, you give me a gig, I'll give you 10%. Why are you worrying about it? You give me the gig." So they themselves started telling me that, why are you not charging us? Because they felt that, I was not able to provide, because a lot of gigs were getting stuck because of that price. Because they feel that freelancers can't charge this much. So, this is maybe your premium or whatever, then it's got stuck. So this year, most of what I've done is I have charged freelancers, and it has worked out well. But in places where the business is in a situation to pay and they feel it is good enough, the value add, and I am also somewhere adding some value, because I do not become a middleman. Once I get the gig, then it's done. You and the freelancer, right? So what has happened this year is also a lot of money hasn't gone through us. So I have just matchmake and said, okay, you guys pay, because a lot of clients don't have GST at this level. They're like, okay, we have just starting, we don't have GST. So then if I get money into GuruKore, then I have to pay that GST, because that person doesn't have a GST. So I have to pay extra 18% on that. So a lot of the gigs this time happened where I did not get involved in the billing, or I mean GuruKore. So they directly did it with each other, but we did the matchmaking. I got the commission from the freelancer. But whenever there is a situation where the business is big, they want a vendor, they don't want to talk to all these freelancers directly, I go in, I put out my face, I put a proposal, this is the company, and this is whatever the money is. Then I don't try as much not to charge the freelancer, because that time I can charge the business. But yeah, there are cases where I charge both of them thoda amount, so that it sort of works out for both. But yeah, I mean, close to 8-10% is what it works out to. This year, I think we still have 3 months left, but I think I'm going to not call it revenue. I'm going to call it gross gig value.
Okay.
Because some of the money hasn't come through us, so I cannot just tell this is revenue. While we have done the matchmaking, the freelancers directly got the payment from the client. So I'm calling gross gig value, because this is the amount of gig we have helped people get. And maybe we will close somewhere in 35-36 lakhs gross gig value. I'm just taking 3 months is still left. So, I'm just doing some sort of plotting and saying it. But yeah, maybe that would be the range. Last year it was 28. And this year it may be 35-36. So yeah, it's growing a bit, but again, I'm also learning a lot. And this is not a business that I'm running on 5th gear. This is a business that I'm running on 2nd gear. Right. So I'm slowly figuring out. I also I do teaching on the side. So my earning is not completely dependent on GuruKore. So I teach, I take consulting gigs myself. I do strategy consulting work, whatever comes to my hand, especially in the field of, let's say, consumer or brand, whatever. So that I do. So for me, that money is fine. This is still trying to just be organic, build the brand, and then see where I can build more business. But as I told you, this year I have to, that's why I'm making the report as well, to sort of understand where we are and where we can. And I'm talking these numbers without knowing how much gig has happened, without me knowing, which is a lot.
Oh, okay. So the future revenue streams that you think of would be, apart from these two, what do you think would be interesting? Like you mentioned something about, charging people who for the community education and things like that. So do you see something over there as well?
That would be again very Varu, just so that people appreciate someone's time. It's not to earn money, because let's say you come and take a session, I have to still test. If people have gotten used to free model, they'll be like, no, I'll not pay 99 now all of a sudden to come to Varu's session. I don't know how they will react, but let's say they give, then that money directly goes to you. I will not take that money. It's just honorarium for you. So that's not revenue for me. We also get revenue from, let's say, meetups, but again, we charge it like at 999, where 500 rupees is cover for food and drink. We make 499 there, but that's not where I'm trying to make money. This is brand building, community meeting initiatives. Most of the money will come if I am able to monetize these people as talent for businesses. That's the major work. And I have to still push that, because I don't even talk about it anywhere. I'm just building community. I don't even talk that, hey, you can take these people for work. So that is still pending from my end to sort of promote the website, and all is there. This is still very close circuit. He knows me, she knows me. Akacha, give me a freelancer types. But that revenue itself has to increase. So I'm not looking at very other sources of revenue. That this revenue has to increase, and a part of the revenue will surely come from academy, where I will build whatever the course that I built. I'll try to deliver in different formats after learning what hasn't worked last time. So education will be an important part for sure. It may not be just like marketing course. It also may be, let's say, how to freelance, or how to be an independent professional, because a lot of core of our work is to make sure that people are able to survive independently. And we actually have a lot of the knowledge instead of these 7-figure influencers who are just scamming them. So why can't we do that? We should surely do that.
So we are going to wrap this session with one last question, which is very close to me. I know it's a cliched one, but I always love to ask this question to my guests. So, what advice would you like to give to the aspiring marketeers out there?
I feel we've already discussed a bit of this. So I would just say that think of yourself as running a business, and think of yourself as a person who solves challenges and solves problem. It can be marketing problem, but think of yourself as a problem solver instead of thinking that I'm an SEO person. Yeah, maybe initially you will solve SEO problems only, but your safety or growth with clients and safety from AI only happens if you become a problem solver overall. So client likes people who are like, okay, let's say I am getting Varu as a content marketer, let's say, for GuruKore. And I say, okay, here is a newsletter, here is a blog. Very, very disparate discussions. It's just formats I'm discussing. So if I'm the founder and Varu discusses this with me, I'm not really excited. I'm excited if Varu discusses, okay, this is your business goal, Abhimanyu. I know you want to increase revenue from this sort of business. So we need more falana, or let's say we need more clients to be aware of this. So this is the kind of content we are going to do. These are the formats we are going to roll out, and we'll then keep tracking. So this simple discussion where you have just come from the business to marketing to then communication, which is the usual objective cascade, makes me happy. It makes any business guy happy, makes any founder happy, makes your boss happy. And it also saves you from AI, because you are not just doing that very specific task. You are looking at that subjective picture or that larger picture and trying to even your specialty skill ko bhi aap thoda larger lens se dikh rahe ho. And that keeps you growing, keeps you safe from AI or whatever, large tech comes tomorrow. So that's the thing. And it helps you enjoy also work, because overall, you understand, you're feeling that you are adding to a larger purpose, and humans are very purpose driven people. So that's the only thing. And the other thing, as I said at the beginning, is that you have to flow. Don't really worry about ये हो रहा है अभी, ये नहीं हो रहा है, कल क्या होगा, परसों क्या होगा. Just do it as it comes. Keep learning. Keep being open is very important. Not getting stuck. Opposite is opening. To be open to what's coming, to be able to absorb, and then looking at tomorrow. That's all right. उससे ज़्यादा कुछ ज़्यादा टेंशन लेने की ज़रूरत नहीं.
I mean, it turned out to be an advice for me as well. So thank you so much for that. I really enjoyed this conversation today with you, Abhimanyu. It did not feel like, I spoke to you for almost 1 hour, 15 minutes, but it turned out so well for me. Like when I came, and you can see my face right now, I'm all glowing, because I know, I can always think of my life this way and think of my profession this way. So thanks to you.
I'm very glad that I could add a bit to your podcast and to you. Very happy and thankful that you called me. And yeah.
Awesome.